One Piece is a story full of interesting characters. Chief among them, of course, being our protagonists, the Straw Hat Pirates. However, I don't feel that all of them get the spotlight equally shined on them as much as they maybe should. Chief among them, I believe, is Jinbe, the helmsman of the Straw Hat Pirates and the former Shichibukai himself. And in this video, I'm going to show you what I believe to be the fish manliness of Jinbe. All of the Straw Hats have their standout characteristic, the thing that makes them memorable, the trait that comes to mind when you imagine them. Zoro's unwavering loyalty, Sanji's immense kindness, Chopper's extreme desire to cure others, or even Brook's desire to look at women's panties. But I believe that Jinbe's most standout trait, the trait that makes him Straw Hat worthy, is his faith. Now this is a trait that all the Straw Hats share strongly. They all have faith in their dreams, they all have faith in Luffy as their captain, and would be willing to go to the ends of the One Piece world to even die for him. But I believe that faith in his dream, his ideals, and in his captain, is what makes Jinbe special, and it's what makes him worthy to be a Straw Hat, even more so than the others. Not that he's more worthy, but rather that his faith is more extreme, as it's a quality that we've seen in him from his very inception in the story. From when we first meet him at Impel Down, to when we see him arrive in the land of Wano and officially become a member of the Straw Hat Pirates, his faith is on display in every major scene. From Jinbe's very humble beginnings when he was a knight in the Fishman Kingdom, a position of security, likely some fame, maybe even financial stability, a position he leaves behind because he had faith in Fisher Tiger's dream, the dream of fishmen being able to live on the same surface as the humans and bask in the sun's glorious light. A dream that even though most fishmen had no hope in, nothing but a pipe dream for them to hope for someday, Jinbe, without having solid proof that that dream would come about, still left his comfortable life in order to pursue it. And yet again we see this trait, this faith that he has, when in his confrontation with Arlong, where he could have easily given in to Arlong's hatred and desire for revenge on humans, and become just as evil as the oppressors that oppressed the Fishman before. But we see Jinbe's faith in Fisher Tiger's dream, his dream of a world where humans and fishmen can coexist, and so much so that he's willing to not give in to his darker temptation and still hold out hope in that dream. Yet again, when he works with Luffy without any spoilers, at the end of the Fishman Island arc, where he chooses to put his faith not just in humanity, but in Luffy right there as his captain. However, I do believe that the most important scene that shows off Jinbe's faith is his rejection of being a member of Big Mom's crew, where he casts off his membership and becomes a member of the Straw Hat Pirates for all to see. That scene is so powerful for so many reasons. I mean, he's surrounded by the enemies, in front of one of the Yonko herself, but yet, without even an ounce of fear, he rejects her and joins with the captain he believes in. And his words that he says are so truly important. I'm a man who wants to be a member of the future Pirate King's crew. I can't be intimidated by a mere Emperor of the Sea. This is such an amazing quote to me, because it tells you everything you need to know about Jinbe. He has so much faith in Luffy, and even though Luffy has done a lot of great things at this point in the story, there's still no solid proof that he will become King of the Pirates, especially when so many others greater than him, like Kaido, Big Mom, Whitebeard, and so many others even before them have tried. But he has faith so much in Luffy that he can surpass someone like Big Mom, that he believes he needs to be able to surpass her as well to be worthy of being on his crew. And that's truly incredible. There's a Bible verse that says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." And Jinbe exemplifies that verse perfectly, as he's willing to stake his life on something he has no solid proof of, no evidence. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's what really drew me to his character and made him so memorable for me, as he is my second favorite member of the Straw Hat crew. But beyond that, Jinbe also brings something to the crew that I think not many of the other members do. and he brings a sort of wizened maturity that a lot of the Straw Hats don't have. Most of the Straw Hats are young people. They're very boisterous. They have loud personalities, and often they have some growing up to do. But Jinbe's been there and done that. He's one of the oldest members. I think he might be older than Frankie. I don't remember how old Frankie is. But he's also, in addition to that, as we've seen him give wise counsel to Luffy and other characters throughout the story, he's always been a character with a lot of knowledge. But he's also very restrained, and he bounces off the other Straw Hats well. I think of the scene where they're sneaking into Onigashima, and the plan's falling apart, and all the other Straw Hats are just kind of rolling with it. But Jinbe is a bit taken aback because he's just not used to doing things like this. He's used to working with more, I guess, normal, level-headed people, not such fly-by-the-seat-of-their-pants adventurers like the Straw Hat Pirates are. And it's really funny to see, and I really, really liked that scene. But I think another thing that makes Jinbe so special is that he's a very distinctly Japanese character in an otherwise not as overtly Japanese story. Not to say that One Piece isn't overtly Japanese, because it is. It has a lot of things that if you're an American you may not get. And especially after the Land of Wano comes around, it certainly becomes much more Japanese, samurai everywhere and whatnot. But what I mean by this is Jinbe embodies the classic ideal, the romanticized samurai. He has that, the code of honor, the duty, the conviction. He stays true to his ideals and doesn't compromise on them. He's even respectful to his enemies, people who hate him and would not show him that respect in turn, yet he still is that way. And combine that with his loyalty to, well, his shogun, Luffy. And he stands out because when you think of Japan, you think of that. You think of that samurai warrior. And even though it's technically not what Jinbe is, he bears all of those qualities. And I think that helps him stand out amongst the Straw Hat crew and makes him even more special, is the fact that he's honestly a more normal character. He's not as extreme a personality. And because he's a straight man amongst a group of clowns, I think it makes him stand out all the more and makes him special where otherwise he may not be. But the final thing I'd like to say about Jinbe is how he ties into one of the main themes of One Piece that's come up as the story has gone on. And that, of course, is the dawn of the world. The idea that the world government's darkness that shrouds over every island and every inch of the seas will someday be removed by Joy Boy, the mythical bringer of the dawn who will bring the light of freedom and joy to everyone. And from the beginning, as I said before, Jinbe has always had faith in this ideal. And I believe it's his faith in this ideal that elevated him from simply one of Luffy's many allies that he's come and gone, and he's seen many times before, to a member of the crew who's going to stick with him. One of the few people who will go to Laugh Tale with him and stand beside him as he finally gazes upon the One Piece. Because he never stopped believing in that dream, and he had many opportunities not to. Like with Fisher Tiger, with Luffy, with Arlong. But every time he was put in these temptations, he always still believed in that hope, even though he couldn't see it. And it's all of these things combined that I believe are what make up the fish manliness of Jinbe. I'll see you on the next video.